Okay, hello, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. Thank you for taking time to attend. On behalf of All India Oracle Users Group, very warm welcome to Sangam 20 Virtual Conference, a festival of Oracle. It is already week 3, day 11, session 1. Before I introduce today's keynote speakers, I would like to cover brief overview of Sangam 20 and few housekeeping messages. I'm sure most of you know these slides. Please bear with me for next few seconds. As you can see from this slide, Sangam 20 is the 12th anniversary and 12 days of festival. We are bringing the best of Oracle technology to you, 12 months of knowledge into 12 days. As you know, it is a 3 weeks festival and we are in the last week and tomorrow is a closing. We have 100 plus speakers participated and few more speakers are joining today and tomorrow across the globe. We worked hard to get a new content, new speakers to Indian Oracle community. We have introduced new themes like rapid fire sessions. I hope you enjoyed rapid fire sessions and fireside chat sessions. And also we have a community sessions and do not miss the magic of Sangam 20. So today we have number of speakers are joining across the globe. Do not miss any of these sessions. We are back to core database topics. We really need to thank them. They are taking out a weekend and personal time for the community. So we really need to thank them. Be interactive, ask right questions at the right time. We are bringing As you know, we are bringing the best out of Oracle technology to you. It is our responsibility to share with others, especially with our connections. So this is one of the important slides of Sangam 20. Take a screenshot of this slide and post it in Twitter so your connections also can join Sangam 20, right? Not only that, you will make new connections during Sangam 20. Use hashtag Sangam 20. Remember, knowledge is only power as long as it is shared. Do not say with you, share with others. So a few housekeeping messages. We also invite your comments and questions. Please look at the Q&A bottom of your screen. Please ask your questions for speakers at any point of time. Type in Q&A only. Do not use chat. And you can use chat for any support. We already covered continue your conversations on Sangam, Twitter using AIOG Sangam 20 hashtags. So we'll upload all the presentation material in AIOG website. Please watch out that space. And since it's a keynote session, please participate in keynote quiz. And please, we will share the QR code after the session. So please participate and win gift vouchers. An important thing is provide your feedback. That's very important. So today we have really privileged to have two speakers, Mughees Minhas and Dan Koleski. If you don't know Mughees, Mughees is responsible for product management, strategy, business development of Oracle Systems Management business, which includes OCI, Observability and Management Cloud Services, as well as Oracle Enterprise Manager. I'm sure most of you very close to Oracle Enterprise Manager since we are more of DBA community. So prior to his current role, he worked in Oracle Database Server team, where he worked on features like AWR, ASH, automatic SQL tuning. I think these all very close to our heart. That basically serves the backbone of Oracle Autonomous Database. So Mughees is a frequent speaker at Oracle forums and has authored several papers on the internal workings and usage best practices of wide variety of Oracle technologies. He holds an undergraduate degree in electrical engineering from Washington University and MBA from Columbia Business School. He is currently vice president in Enterprise and Cloud Manageability division. I think most of you attended Dan's session in Oracle Groundbreaker Yatra 2020. If you don't know Dan, first time you're seeing. So Dan Koleski is also a software industry expert with a broad experience as both technologist working on IT side as well as management executive on vendor side. So Dan is also vice president in Oracle Enterprise and Cloud Manageability product group, which produces Oracle Enterprise Manager, Oracle Management Cloud product families. Previously, Dan was CTO and Director of Strategy for WebBU MP Fricks, which he helps us spin out a sell to Oracle in 2008. Dan holds BA from LA University and MBA from Harvard Business School, right? Really great experts in this call. So please ask right questions and you never get this opportunity again. So with that, very, very warm welcome, Mughees and Dan, and thank you for joining and thank you for spending your late evening time with us. So please go ahead and share your presentation. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, yeah, for that very nice introduction. And good morning, everyone. Yeah, in India, it's a pleasure to speak to all of you. So Dan and myself will be your host for the next 60 minutes or so. What we will talk about is really our management and monitoring strategy going forward for Oracle technologies. So we are building out a platform for doing deep as well as broad monitoring and management of databases, applications, infrastructure that you are running. And we'll talk about how we approach this problem. We'll talk about, of course, what our solutions are. There will be several things in here that you'll be familiar with. I'm also hopeful that there'll be several new things that will be a learning experience, or you'll learn a few new things about what we are trying to build out. But this is more of a forward-looking strategy presentation to give you an idea that if you are a user of Oracle technology, whether it's Oracle databases, Oracle mid-tier, Oracle web server, Oracle applications, we are building out a platform to make your life easier to monitor and manage those technologies. We've done the same thing with Oracle Enterprise Manager, and now we are offering capabilities in Oracle Cloud to do the same thing. So that's what we will talk about here in the next hour or so. So with that, I'll start the first part of the presentation, and then Dan is going to take over and show you quite a few extensive demos and describe the capabilities in detail. So the first thing I really want to level set is that there are a lot of monitoring management tools out there, but the problem is that there is still enormous gaps in the capabilities they offer. So just a few stats to share with you to reinforce that point, right? First is, as the slide indicates, there are more than 12,000 outages at cloud properties in just this year alone. So availability and outages tend to be a big problem today. Moving forward, if you look at the majority of the problems, despite the fact that everybody has some monitoring management observability tool, vast majority of the problems today, 80%, according to Unisphere research, the problems are still reported by end users. So what's the point in having a monitoring tool when the end users call up the DBA or call your sysadmin or call your ops person to say there's a problem? So when that happens, the tool is not doing their job. So despite enormous investments in this area, the vast majority of the time, you find out about the problem through people experiencing it, and the tools don't inform you. Next, if you look at what Gartner is saying about this, is that fewer than 15% of organizations will implement holistic monitoring, and which puts enormous investment, $255 billion by their estimates, at risk for cloud-based solution. So the bottom line is that everybody has some monitoring management tool. Most people have lots and lots of them. I mean, on average, a company has probably anywhere between 10 to 30 to 35 different independent monitoring tools looking at different parts of the technology stack, but the problems remain. So we looked at that problem and we tried to see is what are the specific challenges, what makes this so hard? And the reason these things are not succeeding as we'd like them to is that this is a hard problem. And it's hard for multiple reasons. To provide enterprise-grade observability and management, first of all, the technology stack is becoming more challenging. It's more heterogeneous, more polyglot. You have different kinds of technologies. You have traditional bespoke applications, three-tier applications. You have modern Kubernetes container-based applications. You have multiple plethora of languages being used to write their applications. The developers decide what they're going to use. They pick the technology that suits them the most. But then, from an operational perspective, when you have to monitor and manage these applications, these technologies that are deployed, it's very hard to find expertise for mixed technologies. So even that one level is great, but then you have to manage these 10, 15, 100, 200 different applications across different technologies, different stacks being used. It's very hard to manage them and find expertise in all these areas. So that's problem number one, why this whole thing is hard. The second is, if you decide to go the point solutions route, the problem with having point solutions is maybe you have, using Enterprise Manager for Oracle database. Let's assume, I will make a claim, being since I'm part of the Oracle Enterprise Manager team, that Oracle Enterprise Manager is the best product for managing Oracle databases. So you choose that for Oracle database. Now, what are you going to use for your application tier? You are going to use perhaps a different tool. Let's say you use New Relic or use App Dynamics for APM. What are you going to use for monitoring? If you use Datadog for monitoring, let's say. And so before you know, you have several point solutions that are looking at different tiers of your application, your technology stack, but they are not providing full visibility. So having multiple tools, each tool looking at different components, makes it hard for you to have full visibility into what's going on. And it's not unusual for the app people blaming the database and the database people blaming the app, doing this finger pointing without knowing what's going on. And the reason is because they have different tools. They have their own views of the world and what's going on. And that's the problem that these multiple solutions, point solutions produce, is that they create silos. People have their own view of the world and everything looks great from their point of view, but there is something going on that across these different layers that you can't see. So that's problem number two. The third is when you have data silos. So, let's say your database data is in Enterprise Manager for monitoring diagnostics, your app level data is in some other tool. If you're trying to diagnose the problem, these data silos will complicate analysis and your problem detection and resolution becomes much harder. The fourth problem is, in today's world, almost every customer has obviously on premises, but they also have some cloud as well. If you're a large enterprise, you probably have more on premises, a little bit of cloud. If you're a modern new company, you probably have everything on the cloud. But the bottom line is, if you are a large enterprise, you probably have a mix of on premises and cloud deployments. So that means that unless if you take existing tools that are being offered, you will end up having separate on-premises and cloud operations. So you have maybe one set of tools, one set of teams that operate on premises, your technologies, different set of team operational practices for on cloud deployments. So you have, again, a siloed operations now in play. And lastly, when you end up with multiple tools, the lack of interoperability between tools makes the integration cost much higher for you. So these are all the reasons why it is a hard problem. And that's really the point I wanted to make here, is that the problem is not solved. It's a hard problem for some of the reasons I mentioned. And we are taking a look at it from a different perspective and trying to solve it in a slightly different way. And that's what I'll talk about next. All right. So what we want to do is, as I highlighted the problem, is what if we break down the data silos we talked about, right? So you don't want to have a silo for your log data, silo for your database data, silo for your app data, silo for your trace data. Break down all these data silos, enabling monitoring and diagnostics across every tier of the stack. So offer a solution that is not looking at only one layer of the stack, but allows you to holistically manage the entire technology, the entire application deployed. The thirdly, it supports cloud native and traditional technology. So we obviously want to be the cool guy who looks at, monitors, manages new technology, cloud native applications. But if you're a large customer, you have a whole series of traditional applications which are probably running the most important part of your business. So we need to have the way to support both of them. And what if we provided visibility across both on-premises and clouds? And this is clouds here is deliberate, that not just one cloud, because once again, if you are a customer of a certain size, You don't want to be limited to a single cloud provider. You probably have multiple cloud providers and on premises. So you have a mixture of what your fleet looks like. And so we want to provide you monitoring, management, observability across all your deployments. And finally, offer interoperability as a native feature. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So that's what we're trying to do with our products. So now, why are we doing it? That would be the next question is, okay, big deal. Oracle, why do you think you can do it better than others? We feel that we have certain advantages. First of all, we have expertise in hyperscale observability and management. I mean, you guys know that we are not just a database technology provider. We also have the largest SaaS portfolio of enterprise applications, right? For our ERP applications, HCM applications, and so on. And we have many years of DevOps experience in operating these large SaaS portfolios. So we know exactly what monitoring management means to do it at cloud scale, being one of the largest providers. And the other thing to note is that we are also the only provider, I would say, that is a provider of operating systems, Oracle Linux, the provider of database, Oracle Database, provider of application, mid-tier, WebLogic, and provider of applications. So they have this unique advantage that we offer you every layer of the infrastructure stack. We actually provide capabilities for those. And that allows us to, first of all, not just deep knowledge of every tier of the stack, but also we understand how to instrument every layer of the stack. And instrumentation is the key when you're trying to use a monitoring and diagnostics tool. So we understand how to instrument every tier of the stack, and we also know how to troubleshoot and optimize it. So these are some of the things that allow us to really understand this area extremely well. Second is we're not just on-premises provider, as you all know, but we also have a lot of cloud experience. So we operate environments across on-premises, cloud, and SaaS. Whereas if you look at cloud native providers, for example, and they have limited exposure to on-premises technologies. Now they're trying to get into it, but fundamentally they're not. We can cross both of those. And finally, we are leader in data management. We manage mission critical and large data sets of enterprises, whereas pure play, look at observability providers, they have limited capabilities for the database tier. I think we can claim, fairly convincingly, that in the data tier, we are not only the leader in providing these technologies, but also in managing this technology. We understand database management extremely well. So that's, I think, what makes Oracle unique. And with that, we are introducing 6 new cloud services that form part of our observability and management platform. And these 6 cloud services are, okay, so these are those 6 cloud services. So we are introducing logging service and logging analytics service. We are introducing application performance monitoring service. We are offering a database management service, operations insights, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes and show you a quick demo as well, and service connector hub. So these are cloud services, first of all. So they offer management as a service. You don't need to patch, maintain, upgrade this software. It's offered as a service. However, what it manages can reside anywhere. What it's managing is whether it's a database or you're pushing logs, or your application could reside on premises, as the center of the circle indicates. It could reside on Oracle Cloud, hopefully, or even if it's third-party clouds, we can monitor and manage it anywhere. So we have multi-cloud and hybrid cloud support for all these services. Even though these are cloud services, what it is managing could reside anywhere. Second is that these, as you can see, we are trying to cover the entire stack. You can get logs from anywhere: infrastructure log, network logs, database logs, application logs, a mid-tier log, anything. We can cover the whole stack. We cover the application with our APM solution. We are looking at the database tier with a database solution. We already have an OS management solution, which already exists, hence it's not a new announcement. So we cover OS as well. And we also have an ability to move data around these services using Service Connector Hub, and also in order to offer interoperability, because even despite how much we might want it, Oracle may not be the only solution that tool that you would have. You may have some other tools as well. You may want to move data from, let's say, our cloud services to a third-party tool for doing monitoring and management, and the service connector hub lets you move that data around. This is what these key technologies provide, and the support. I should add what the last bullet indicates is that when I say Oracle Cloud, I mean public cloud, I mean cloud at customer, I mean dedicated, and all those things. So all versions, flavors of Oracle Cloud are covered in there. So with these 6 new services, our entire platform looks something as follows, which is this. So we have existing services which form the foundation of our observability and management platform, which includes monitoring, notifications, alarms, events, functions, streaming, and OS management. And on top of that, we have provided these new 6 premium services which allow you to do higher level database management. So they provide you an integrated platform. So if you can see that now all telemetry, whether it's metrics, logs, traces, they all are captured in this new platform, and they can enable seamless traversal and analysis across all software components. So and we'll show you in the demo that you can go from your app tier down to the database, and maybe down to the OS and storage tier as well. We'll show you the API, the app to the database integration part, how that works, how that would work. We support, as I said earlier, cloud native traditional technologies, and we give you a statewide visibility. So if you have something on Oracle Cloud, something on premises, something on AWS, Azure, it's not a problem. We'll give you a full view of exactly where your technology components reside. And we have standard-based ecosystem interoperability, where we can easily move data around to third-party services as well if you have some other third-party component. And lastly, because we are offering it on the cloud, it has built-in AI and machine learning capabilities so that we can accelerate the pace at which you do diagnostics by having these machine learning algorithms analyze the data and give you insights out of it, so you don't have to do it. And they will bubble up key issues right in front of you in the form of dashboards. Then you could go and see and further analyze those anomalies that we highlight using machine learning. So it has built-in intelligence using applied machine learning. We are not offering you a toolkit of machine learning, but machine learning that is integrated as a key part of observability. So the key use cases are already refined for specific purposes for which we are writing these algorithms. So that's, in essence, is what our total platform looks like. So now what I'll do is I'm going to transition to Dan, who's now going to describe to you in a little bit more detail what these different services are. The last 2 services that he'll talk about relate to the Oracle database. So if you are an Oracle database user, I would like you to stay back and hear about database management and operations insights, because these are new technologies that really is some of the new innovations we are doing in how you will monitor and manage your database. So Dan, it's over to you.
Great, thanks Mughees, and nice to see everyone from AIOUG again. Thank you so much for having us. So as Mughees mentioned, we have a whole bunch of new services that are part of this. So I'll just briefly dig into these, and we'll show you a couple demos as well as some customer testimonials about what they're doing with these services. You'll hear Mughees' voice again on these demos, since he kindly recorded those for us. So the logging service, as Mughees mentioned, this is the first one of the new services. It's available now. Logging's job is to make it very easy for you to ingest and leverage log telemetry out of OCI itself. So if you're using Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, you're spinning up virtual machines, you're deploying things into those virtual machines. There's a whole set of infrastructure-related and virtual machine-related log telemetry that we want to make available to you. It's a very easy and simple one-click experience to turn that on. And then you have logs flowing with a lot of useful data. That includes audit logs, infrastructure logs, as well as the logs for things that you deploy in the VMs. Makes it very easy for you to leverage that telemetry to do searches across it, to take actions on the basis of doing it. The logging service leverages Fluentd, which is very popular in the open source ecosystem. So if you're deploying open source technology into Oracle Cloud, you're going to have sort of instantaneous support for all of the Fluentd supported logs. And it leverages the latest industry standards, which is the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, CNCF Cloud Events 1.0 spec. So the logs are normalized as part of the ingest process to the Cloud Events 1.0 spec. Now, after you leverage logging, then you may decide that what you need to do is do a bit deeper analysis. So logging is designed for quick and easy searches, quick and easy analysis, but sometimes you need to dig deeper, or you have very large data sets, or you want to run analytics against your logs to answer more complex questions that are not easily done with traditional searching. That's where logging analytics kicks in. This is a more advanced logging solution designed for sort of your enterprise log estates, to support logs not just from OCI, but any logs from anywhere, as Mughees mentioned earlier, and really has all of that built-in applied machine learning that Mughees was talking about, where we help you answer questions that you have, leveraging machine learning as a means to the end of understanding what's going on. Not so much as the point of the exercise, but really as just a way to quickly and easily answer questions, and we'll show you that. This is also where we have our support for a huge amount of Oracle and non-Oracle technology from other commercial vendors as part of the logging analytics solution, and these two are designed to work hand in hand. What we're going to do is we're going to show you a little bit about what this looks like, so I'm going to go ahead and run a quick recorded demonstration here, which will give you a sense of how you might use these solutions.
In this demonstration, we will show you the capabilities of our logging and logging analytics services. We'll begin at the enterprise dashboard. This is the custom dashboard that I've created, bringing together my most important applications, database servers, along with all its telemetry in one unified view. On the dashboard, we see an HTTP timeout in our eMedia application. Let's go see what's happening here. OCI makes it easy for me to generate alerts with direct integration with OCI monitoring and notifications. Clicking the alert lands me directly into the OCI logging search page, with all of my context pre-filled in for me to begin my investigation. Looking down below, I see the actual result that triggered my alarm. This specific log event corresponds to a failure in my application frontend. The specific error being shown is an HTTP 408 error. When I look at the log line, I can see the exact front-end host, request IP, the latency, and the detailed error message. When I ingest a log into OCI logging, my log is automatically parsed and made searchable, which is powered by a Fluentd agent where every event is normalized into the common CNCF Cloud Events format. So it looks like our application front-end server returned an error that says exceeded timeout threshold. This could be caused by a variety of different issues in my stack, for example, issues on the backend, or the load balancer, or the network. I want to trace down exactly where this request from this specific IP address went through my entire stack to see at what points things broke. So I'm simply going to take the IP address and paste it into my search box. I'm now able to see results from my entire stack as it relates to this IP address. I can now easily trace exactly what happened with this request. I see the request coming into the front-end machine, receiving that request, and the load balancer doing the assignment of that request to one of our load-balanced infrastructure components. Then I see a variety of network traffic that looks a little bit unusual going through the application, and ultimately a back-end timeout. OCI logging allows us to easily integrate and visualize hundreds of thousands of log lines with just a few clicks. I want to drill into what's going on in my VCN flow logs. When I click on the Visualize tab, I can now see the aggregated count of every single inbound and outbound request across my entire network. It looks like there is an abnormal amount of traffic happening here, so I need to understand a little more about what's going on in my OCI network. I'm going to escalate this question into OCI Logging Analytics. OCI Logging Analytics uses advanced visualizations and applied machine learning to find the needle in the haystack, even among very large amounts of log data. Right now, we are looking at all the VCN flow logs from our compartment, which is almost 1 million rows. If you look at a single entry from one of these logs, we can see that we've parsed and enriched the information from these logs enabling us to do things like classify the action, which in this case was a packet reject. Why don't we see if packet rejection is part of a network problem? By dragging the action field into a group by window and resorting our chart, we see that vast majority of packets have been accepted, so packet rejection is not a networking problem. Let's explore a different question. Perhaps we have some unusual traffic coming from servers that are not normally part of our network traffic. Let's resort all of the log records to look at the IP addresses generating traffic. We see we have some noisy telemetry servers here, but those are not unusual, so that's clearly not our problem either. We can further get a quick view of the trends in traffic from our servers by simply looking at another visualization, and we don't see anything unusual in that trend charts either. Note that all of this analysis is happening automatically. We have many other out-of-the-box visualizations available, which we can put into a dashboard like this one. But let's get back to our troubleshooting scenario. We saw the problems were not packet rejection and were not unusual traffic from our public servers. So let's use some machine learning to search for one-time anomalies. Logging analytics ships with a variety of out-of-the-box machine learning algorithms that have been optimized for operational data. We are looking at the output of a link analysis, which automatically stitches together the data. This table shows a summary of network traffic from each source to each destination over a period of time. And you can even see the type of traffic that has been automatically inferred from the log data. Now we'll still got 600,000 rows of logs, which is too much. So let's use some additional machine learning called clustering to identify the patterns of network traffic. This cluster chart shows trends in network activity over time from various sources to various destinations, with the size of bubble indicating the amount of data being transferred. I'm going to refactor the data by total bytes transferred and eliminate the small transfers. And what I will ultimately see is the needle in the haystack cause of our problem, which is a large data transfer from an MP4 file from a web server called Collab Server 1. We can then drill in and quickly see the exact two file transfers that caused the network problem. You'll notice that all of these complex queries are being created automatically. But of course, you could use our query language to write all this stuff manually if you choose. It's now clear that network contention caused what at first appeared to be a set of application errors. So what we have seen here is how logging and log analytics can help you quickly and easily aggregate and search logs and use machine learning and analytics capabilities to do problem diagnostics without requiring you to be a data scientist or even have deep domain knowledge about the logs you are analyzing.
So hopefully what that demo revealed is there's a lot of sophisticated capabilities in these solutions, but we try our best to make it very easy for you to use those capabilities through drag and drop, through interaction through the GUI. The query language is exposed to you and you can manipulate that directly as you need to. But ultimately, we want you to solve the problem, not spend your time messing around with data and queries. So our goal is to help you quickly mine these vast quantities of data and take advantage of the advanced analytics that are built in line to enable you to solve your problem. So let's see what a customer who uses these solutions sees as advantages as they start to leverage these type of solutions.
Integra is a leading global provider of regenerative and neurological devices and technologies. To have a secure, observable, and reliable infrastructure is essential in making sure we are able to develop, manufacture, and distribute the quality products to surgeons and patients who need them. We've had several less than successful attempts at our cloud migration with other vendors. As of last February, we are fully on the Oracle Cloud Platform, and it really has exceeded our expectations. The monitoring and logging capabilities give us unprecedented visibility into the operations of the system, and the 24/7 alerting allows us to get out ahead of problems and fix them. With a cross-tier view of applications, database, and infrastructure, we can now resolve performance issues in minutes instead of hours. Our multi-tier application stack is operated by a team of just 10 DevOps engineers. OCI helps keep our systems running all the time so that we can continue to enhance the quality of our patients' lives each and every day with our products.
So our goal, reducing troubleshooting time from days to minutes, is exactly the kind of thing that we're trying to get accomplished. So logging and logging analytics are two of the 6 solutions that we announced as part of the platform. The third one is application performance monitoring. Now here we're looking at different portions of the stack and different types of telemetry. Again, our goal is that you can use all this telemetry in whatever combination makes the most sense. Application performance monitoring looks at digital experience, so the end user experience with applications. That's going to include monitoring what real users are doing with your systems, as well as running synthetic transactions for your key transactions on an ongoing basis to proactively identify problems in the transactions that are most important for you. Application performance monitoring also includes server-side monitoring for the application tier, and new is the inclusion of distributed tracing. So newer technologies, especially container environments and newer cloud native technologies, expose a lot of their information in tracing. And so distributed tracing is part of the application performance monitoring cloud service, and is going to enable you to really understand what your end users are experiencing and why. In the context of applications, whether those applications are built on brand new technology, such as cloud native technology, Kubernetes, containers, etc., or whether it's built on more traditional, say, J2EE environments. Application performance monitoring is going to be applicable across all of those in whatever combination of technology that you're using. And we're going to hear from a customer out of China, Kingold, who's very application performance monitoring centric, give you an idea of what these types of solutions can do for you.
Hi, I'm Stephen Chin, CIO of Kingold Group. We at Kingold are committed to providing exceptional lifestyle choices for people living exceptional lives. And that's why we've chosen Oracle's Observability and Management solution to watch over our most important applications and their respective cloud environments. We're now getting real-time insights into residents' app usage with automatic alerts of anomalies, and 95% of critical issues are resolved before users are impacted. We also now have the capability to identify code-level performance issues 10 times faster. We couldn't do this without the built-in machine learning technology of Oracle's solution, which automatically correlates app telemetry with back-office events and logs. Oracle's Observability and Management solution is essentially a guardian angel to our cloud, keeping us safe and making my team members happier as he takes the dull and repetitive work away from them. And above all, it helps us deliver mission-critical services and great experiences to our customers.
So our goal with the application level telemetry is really to be able to understand and deliver those end user and customer experiences. But application performance monitoring is designed to be used in conjunction with the rest of these services to give you a sense of what's going on really across your stack. And so the next obvious place that we want to be able to provide exposure is at the data tier. Now this is, as Mughees mentioned, our bread and butter. We spend a lot of time and energy working on the data tier, and the Oracle database is well known for its deep instrumentation, deep telemetry. We do this in Enterprise Manager, and what we've done with the Database Management Cloud Service, yet another one of our new cloud services, is really bring the best of that Enterprise Manager capability into the cloud. So those of you who are longtime Enterprise Manager users are going to be used to using things like Performance Hub and Ash Analytics, real-time SQL monitoring, looking at blocking sessions, etc. And database management takes that technology and makes it available from the Oracle Cloud console for Oracle databases. These databases that you're monitoring and managing with Oracle Cloud may live on premises, they may live in Oracle Cloud, they may live in a variety of our deployment options, whether it's Exadata Cloud or similar, but you're going to be able to leverage these capabilities from the cloud console for your entire database fleet. And that's going to include not just individual database management, things like the screenshot here from Performance Hub, but also fleet-wide monitoring and management, where we can pick our head up, look across our entire fleet, and be able to understand what's going on. Where do I need to spend my time, my scarce DBA time, not DB time, but DBA time? what can I do, high value tuning activities to ensure that I maximize performance. And database management is designed to work hand in hand with the visibility into the application tier provided by application performance monitoring. Another very new service that we're very excited about is the Operations Insights service. Now, this is also leveraging our deep expertise in database telemetry with some very specific apps designed to help you optimize your capacity and performance for your Oracle database fleet. So what Operations Insights does is it's going to take the data that we're collecting, all of that very deep Oracle database telemetry, collecting it over time and allowing us to then trend that data, understand the performance of the systems that are generating that data, and then turn the lens forward and be able to make projections about the future and forecast what's going to happen. So common use cases for using the Operations Insights service will be capacity planning. I want to understand, do I have enough capacity for the next spiky demand? Maybe that spiky demand is my weekend close or my month-end close, or maybe the spiky demand is holiday shopping season or tax time, or in the US, we're very concerned with sports betting around things like Super Bowl Sunday. Whatever you have spiky demand that we're trying to manage against, capacity planning capabilities and Operations Insights are going to be designed to help you understand, are you going to be comfortable with that demand? Do you need to reallocate capacity? And this becomes very powerful because unlike all of the other tooling, which is going to help you solve problems quickly, Operations Insights will really help you not have the problem at all. We can take action today to avoid the problem that we're forecasting is going to happen tomorrow. So we can really get in front of these problems and prevent them from impacting end users. And that's going to be true using the capacity planning app as well as the SQL Warehouse app, which again looks at our data over time and helps us identify slow degradations in performance or variations in performance that may cause real problems down the road. We can take action today and do something about that. So we're going to show you a demonstration of how all of these services, application performance monitoring, database management, and Operations Insights, can be worked together hand in hand to troubleshoot problems across an application stack.
In this demonstration, we will show you how you can quickly diagnose performance problems using a combination of application performance monitoring, database management, and Operations Insight services. We'll begin at the Enterprise dashboard. This is the custom dashboard that I've created, bringing together my most important applications, database servers, along with all its telemetry in one unified view. We can see that our software store monitor runtime is throwing an alert in the upper left corner. And down in the lower left, we can see that the AppDex for our software store is also low. AppDex is a standard measure of user satisfaction with application performance. Let's debug what's going on. The software store application consists of a variety of microservices that sit in front of an Oracle Autonomous Database. As you can see, one of our synthetic monitors has thrown an error, so we'll click on that to drill down. Looking at the last 6 hours, I can see that most of our synthetic test runs ran in an acceptable amount of time, but some of them were quite slow. Let's look at one of the individual slow runs. To do this, I'll navigate to the Application Performance Monitoring Synthetic Monitor page, select the Software Store Checkout Monitor, and view its run history. The synthetic monitor runs every 5 minutes. I'm going to pick one of the runs that ran too long and drill into the trace details for that run. APM stores every single trace from every single user doing every single transaction in every one of our applications. Right now, though, I'm only interested in the traces for this particular transaction. In looking at it, it's clear that one step is taking most of the elapsed time. The trace details give us a clear picture of every step of the transaction, beginning with the end user's browser request, through the various microservices, ultimately down to the database. We can see that time being spent is largely in a database call, which happens to be an update statement. Next, I need to investigate this SQL to see why it is taking such a long time. I can see the SQL ID, the database URL, the ATP ID. I will now move to the database management service for further investigation. StoreET is an autonomous transaction processing database which holds our software store application. Performance Hub is Oracle's integrated diagnostics and tuning toolkit and leverages the same best practices used by Oracle Enterprise Manager. We start by ruling out systemic issues such as CPU overload, which we can clearly see is not the case. The main activity chart is a picture of total database time servicing foreground requests. Here we can see a repeating pattern of large CPU usage in green, but it is the orange areas that show time spent waiting or application inefficiency that are most interesting to us. Ash Analytics is an interactive tool that allows us to do multi-dimensional analysis of database activity. By refactoring the Ash data by wait event, we can see that rollout contention is occurring regularly but intermittently. The SQL identified by the APM service, which begins with the number 2, is spending a lot of time in application waits. There is another SQL immediately above it that is consuming a lot of CPU time. We can use the Blocking Sessions tab to see current and historical incidences of rollout contention. The SQL statement triggering the APM alert is an update statement that typically should execute in milliseconds, but is being blocked. The blocking SQL is doing a select for update on the same table, blocking rows, and it's that one that is using a lot of CPU and taking too long to execute. This is the actual root cause of the problem. In our Operations Insight service, we have a feature called SQL Warehouse, which, as the name suggests, is a long-term SQL store for performance and trend analysis of your SQL statements to help you identify trends and proactively troubleshoot and mitigate SQL issues. Looking at the performance statistics for that particular SQL, we can see that our average response time has gone up well over 100%, which is obviously a cause of concern. And in the Insights column, we can see that our SQL has degraded by over 50%. So while it maybe wasn't always bad, it is certainly bad now. Looking at the two performance charts below, it's obvious that the performance of the SQL has degraded substantially in recent times. One obvious question we might ask is whether the SQL is now being executed much more frequently than before, but a quick look at the history shows that the rate of execution has not changed. So our next step is to look at the execution plan of this SQL statement. And when we do that, we can see that this is a fairly straightforward execution plan which will not scale with growth in data. As the size of the underlying table grows, the SQL will get slower. A simple solution to improve the SQL is to add an index. You can do it manually, use our advisors like SQL Tuning Advisor, or this being an autonomous database, you can simply enable the auto-indexing feature. And indeed, that's exactly what we did. After the index was created, the performance problem went away. Now when you look at the dashboard, you can see that the database CPU utilization has gone down and the AppDex score has gone up. So what we've been able to do is leverage a combination of application performance monitoring, database management, and Operations Insight services, a variety of telemetry and analytics out of the box to debug a performance problem that showed up in an application but was caused by something else.
So what you saw there was an example of a noisy neighbor type problem where we have one thing causing a problem in another application. Very difficult to debug when you're only looking at small pieces of the puzzle, but when we can look at the entire puzzle, it makes it much easier for us to find those types of problems and resolve them. So we have had great activity with a variety of customers starting to use all these services. You can see some of them here. I'm going to skip this next video just in the interest of time so that we have time to answer some questions, but I encourage you to watch Lone Star College's understanding of their performance for a very, very large educational network that serves over 90,000 students. And there are a number of others as well that were part of our launch of this of these services who have really managed to achieve pretty amazing results by leveraging these services all together. Now, the last new service that is part of this is the Service Connector Hub, and as Mughees mentioned, as a reminder, this service is designed to allow you to hook everything else that we just talked about up to the rest of your ecosystem. So what that means is if you're using, say, PagerDuty or Slack, you're going to be able to integrate alerts out of all of these services into that. If you're using third-party monitoring solutions and you want to push data either raw data or derived data from our services into those solutions. You can do that using the Service Connector Hub. It's very easy for you to do this. It's a foundational part of Oracle Cloud. There's no charge for you to use these capabilities and be able to integrate our stuff seamlessly in with whatever else you're using as a part of your observability and management ecosystem. We went to market with a variety of partners, and we've done a bunch of webcasts since with other partners that we encourage you to check out, so you can see how easy it is to hook up the Oracle solutions with other solutions. And we'll show you a very quick demo of what that looks like, in addition to showcasing some of the system integrator partners who have been a big part of using these solutions early on. So let me show you what Service Connector Hub looks like really quickly.
In this final demo, I will show you the interoperability features of our new platform. So here we have a simple video encoding application running on OCI Compute. You can see that the compute instances are integrated with the monitoring service for metrics and with the logging service for logs. I'll first show you how you can create your own custom integrations. So let's see how you can take logs to a data analysis tool of your choice using the Service Connector Hub. Simply create a service connector, set the source as logging, and target as streaming. The Service Connector Hub lets you manage and monitor data movement between your OCI services and to a Kafka-compatible third-party tools. Logs are now flowing from logging to a streaming service. Customers can use Kafka connectors for popular observability and management tools to access the data. Now let's see how OCI provides out-of-box integrations with some of the leading industry vendors. Today we are announcing a new OCI Grafana plugin that lets you explore metrics and logs in a single view. Let's try this out with a simple scenario. I have set up an alarm in the monitoring service that triggers when memory utilization goes above 40%. This will send me notifications via PagerDuty, Slack, and email. So let's see what happens when this alarm is triggered. As expected, I receive notifications from all three channels. I will click on the Slack notification and drill in further. I can see that it is a critical alarm and that I need to investigate further. I'm going to click on the link to the Grafana dashboard link in the alarm body. Quickly, I can see the problem. The memory utilization metric has begun to spike. Let's find out why. I will select the time range in which memory utilization started to increase. The metric chart not only zooms in, I can see that the log panel has also refreshed to show logs corresponding to that time period. Quickly scanning through the logs, I can see that the root cause is a new build that the engineering team deployed, which introduced a memory issue. This is a good example of OCI's Observability and Management Platform's seamless integration with tools like Slack, PagerDuty, Grafana, and how this reduced the time to resolve the issue to a few minutes, something that otherwise could have taken a long time. In summary, you can continue to use the tools that you have invested in and easily integrate with OCI's Observability and Management Platform without changing your operational posture.
So we do believe very strongly in meeting everyone where they are, meaning that if you have a variety of tooling that you already take advantage of, we're happy to integrate and help you integrate these new capabilities into that. If you don't have tooling or you're not happy with the tooling that you have, we also offer full end-to-end solution in the services that we have. So really, wherever you are on that spectrum, that'll give you a way to look at this. And the analyst community has noticed this as well. They were very positive. We encourage you to read all of these reports from the third-party analysts as they looked at our new observability and management platform as we announced it. So the best thing to do is to try all this, though. And so we encourage you to take a look, try the stuff that's currently available. Logging Analytics, Operations Insights, Service Connector Hub are all generally available. You can use those in Oracle Cloud today using the free trials. And Application Performance Monitoring and Database Management are coming out soon. They're in early access now. And so you have the opportunity to request early access for those as well. If you visit oracle.com/go-to/observability or oracle.com/manageability, you'll be able to take advantage of all of these services and understand a little bit more about them. So with that, I want to thank everybody for your time. I hope my colleagues have been looking at Q&A questions. If we have any that we want to answer, we can answer those live now. And so I'll turn it back over to Mughees and Gagan and the AIOUG team. But thank you again for having us and for having us be a part of this great conference.
Yeah, exactly. I want to add my thanks as well for giving us an opportunity to talk to you about these new products. So Dan, just so that you know, I'm having some connectivity issues. So if I drop off, please jump in and finish the answer.
Sure.
If something comes up. All right.
I think this is the next.
Yeah. Sorry, just like Mughees, Dan, if you can clarify, there have been few questions around whether observability and management platform is applicable to applications and databases deployed on premises.
Yes, I think the short answer is absolutely yes. I think it lets you monitor and manage technology deployed anywhere, and anywhere includes on-premises or Oracle Cloud or Amazon or Azure or anywhere. Yes.
Okay, thanks. And if you can also share your views around how this is different from some of the APM tools out there, or what's like key differentiator here with this platform?
I think the key differentiator really is between a pure play point solution versus a comprehensive platform. So let's say in APM, App Dynamics and New Relic are well known. There's also there are also Dynatrace and other tools as well. But what they don't have is they're very good at doing APM, but they're very weak with database management. They're very weak with log management. And the problems I mentioned earlier, to do proper monitoring and management, you need to have comprehensive telemetry in your system, which includes metric data, which they are good at, but you also need to have log data because a lot of important information about your application behavior in logs. You need that as well. And you need to cover every tier of the stack. That's what makes us different, is that we let you look at every component of your application stack, and we are not only focusing on one component. I think that's the differences between or App Dynamics are good at for that particular tier. But if you really want to manage the user experience, your digital experience of your consumers, then you need the full comprehensive platform. And that's our approach, which is different than the vendors that you talked about.
Okay, that's great. I think that that answered a lot of questions from the Q&A panel. So that's great. Sai, over to you. If we need to answer any additional questions, yeah.
No, I think this is really an excellent session, right? I think I'm sure most of you more relaxed now, not handling all the performance issues, alerts by writing, scripts or maybe a point solutions as Mughees mentioned. Now, I think we can see that it's like more of a comprehensive solution where we can handle end to end instead of just going with a point solution, right? I think that's a very important point. Even we should talk to our customers. Because today you get some third-party tool for just fixing the application problem, but what about the database, right? I think that's really a key point for us to go back to, to customers and talk about this platform, right? So I'm sure we will run more in-depth sessions on this platform in going upcoming months. So please ask the right questions so we can connect. Gagan is based in India, is very helpful, reachable. So please connect with us if you want to clarify any questions on this platform. And really nice to see all the 6 new brand services, right? I'm really eager to access this platform. So with that, thank you so much taking your valuable time and spending time with us today, Mughees and as well as Dan. And it is I think it's our privilege to have you guys and also we want to invite you to a Sangam 21 in Bangalore, subject to COVID. It's really privilege to see you guys. Okay, thanks a
Thank you.
lot.
We really appreciate the opportunity to speak to all of you.
Yeah, it's a very
Uh,
nice. Again, we are in the virtual world. We can't see you face to face, but at least we can do this. This is the maximum we can do for the community. Thank you very much. So now now it's a knowledge test, right? So please participate by scanning this QR code, and you get a chance to win a prizes. So I'll keep this for 5 more seconds and please participate, right? So this is very important, and your knowledge test. And by the way, speakers are not allowed to participate, but still you can see what is there inside. Okay, so with that, the next session is coming, persistent memory for database 101. Again, the performance topic. So please join back in 20 minutes. So with that, thank you very much, Dan and Mughees and Gagan. A good night for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you and stay safe.